All right, I think this one's ready to flip. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen. This episode's special guest is myself. Sorry to disappoint everybody, but I will be teaching you how to make pancakes while I answer some of the questions that you guys have sent in. So I'm super excited for this episode. Kind of answer your questions, make some pancakes, have a good time. Let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna get this recipe going. I need flour, baking powder, white sugar, salt, milk, butter, an egg, and sometimes I put a little bit of vanilla in and a little extra sugar, but I'm actually gonna double this recipe so I can make huge fluffy pancakes. I've got some of the stuff out, but I'm gonna grab some more of it. Let's try this one. Okay. I've probably been making this recipe for like 8 years, maybe, a long time. And I've kind of modified it from making smaller pancakes to bigger pancakes, so that's why I doubled the recipe. And first thing I'm gonna do is sift my flour, baking powder, so I have to sift all my ingredients first, so I gotta get my sifter out. I just saw it. First step is to sift all of the dry ingredients. So right now I'm putting in 3 cups of flour. So pancakes were always something that I loved making as a kid because pancakes are one of my favorite foods actually. Like a lot of times if I'm celebrating like a Triple Crown or finish a tournament, like the next day for brunch, I'll like get a chocolate chip pancake, which is why I have chocolate chips out because I'll make a couple chocolate chip pancakes. But I think it's time to start answering some of your questions. So I put out a questionnaire on my story to have you guys ask me questions that you might have. And the first one today is, what was my favorite sports childhood memory? And this is actually kind of funny because when I was growing up, I was obviously playing sports, one of them being soccer, and I remember my parents telling me the story where I was so bad at soccer. Like I would fall over my feet, I'd sit on the grass, I wouldn't chase the ball, like I'd pick flowers, I was one of those kids, and the coaches used to always come up to my parents and be like, wait, is this your kid? Like she's so unathletic. Both my parents are D1 athletes, so I guess it was like an anomaly to why I was so bad at sports, and then when I turned 8, I obviously became more athletic, but I just thought that was kind of a funny story of my childhood sports progression. Okay, so I guess the next question that I should answer is, do I miss soccer, since I was just talking about soccer? And I do miss it, like I really miss practicing and playing games, but the last time I played soccer, I was kind of at peace with the fact that it was gonna be my last time playing soccer. And I feel like if I hadn't had that last game that I knew it was my last game, I would miss it more, but I feel like I'm at peace with the fact that I don't play soccer anymore. But I do miss it, so when I'm done playing pickleball, maybe I'll go play some like pickup soccer games. So I'm still sifting this. That was just the salt. I put in the baking powder. It's actually 7 teaspoons of baking powder. They're really fluffy pancakes, 2 tablespoons of white sugar, and then I just put in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm now moving on I'm gonna actually mix this, and then I'm gonna move on to my wet ingredients, which will be the egg and the milk and the butter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my first ever pickleball tournament, I actually was like signed up by our local friends. They're like, you have to sign up, and I was like, fine, I'll sign up for the tournament. And I played the lowest division. I played 3-0, and it's funny because the first day was gender doubles, and I won the gender doubles 3-0, and I guess people had complained that I was too good to play in the 3-0, so then in the mixed doubles, they bumped me up to 3-5, and I got destroyed. Like, I was definitely not ready to be in the 3-5 bracket, which was funny that I was like too good for 3-0, but not good enough for 3-5 at the time. And then I kind of, every tournament after that moved up a level, so in a year span, I went from 3-0 to 5-0. Okay, so I'm melting the butter now, and I'm getting ready to add the eggs and the milk inside the batter. But another question I was asked is, what is my worst trait as an athlete and how am I correcting it? So I would say my worst trait is that I'm a perfectionist. Like, everything I do has to be perfect, and in practice, my mom's like, Annalie, like when you're learning something new, you're not gonna be amazing at it, from the start. So I think that especially this past year, I've really tried to work on things and not get too frustrated at myself for not being able to get it right away. And that's really helped me to actually learn how to do it, because when you don't get frustrated at yourself, good things happen. So a little bit too much of a perfectionist, and I'm trying to work on that. All right, now I'm pouring in the milk. It's 2.5 cups. I just put 1 cup in. So next question is, what am I a fan of that might be surprising? When I was younger, I was a huge fan. I still am a fan of WWE. I don't watch it quite as much, but like I knew all the people, like Roman Reigns, John Cena, The Undertaker, like I knew everybody. And I still keep up with it a little bit, but that might be surprising. I used to like try to do all the wrestling moves on my dad when I was little. I'd like put him in the like choke locks, and I'd like jump on him, and like my dad was a good sport and let me try my wrestling moves on him, but that was a big part of my childhood, and especially like with my cousins. Like Rey Mysterio used to love, like, so yeah, it was a big part of my childhood, and I still enjoy it. And I actually just saw that John Cena retired, and that was very sad for me. But so yeah, there's something surprising that I like. Okay, what is my favorite meal before a championship game? Most of the time it's a big breakfast, like eggs and toast. But that one time that I actually didn't play until later in the day, I made my lasagna and had the lasagna. So I would say like a healthy, high protein, high carb meal. Making sure I'm not eating something that's gonna upset my stomach, I think, is a big thing. So kind of just knowing my body, knowing what I want, what I feel like, but also something that tastes good, obviously. So I'm currently mixing this, and it's a very thick batter, so it's gonna take me a minute. I saw a lot of the questions were like, how do I get better? How do I go? This one specifically was, how do I go from a 4.0 to a 4.5? And personally, I really think it does kind of depend on the player, like what are you good at, what do you need work on, but probably like an overall something to work on is your first and second shot. I feel like a lot of people overlook the serve and return, but like if you're making a lot of errors on your serve, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to win more points. And if you're making a lot of errors on the return, you're giving free points to your opponent. So if you can kind of cut down on making errors on those 2 shots, I feel like you're gonna see a lot of improvement, and it might be that 0.5 that you're missing, or that you're wanting to gain. So I feel like now if you're talking more like 5.0, I feel like there is a big difference between 4.5 and 5.0 and 5.5 and 5.0 and pro. So I feel like if you're trying to go from 4.5 to 5.0, or you're wanting to get better as a 5.0, drilling is a huge part of that. And not only like drilling with a person, because I feel like if you're drilling with a person, you have to not only work on things, I need to keep mixing this, not only work on things that you want to work on, but you also have to keep the other person in mind. So I feel like if you could maybe have a partner where one session's working on you and one's working on the other person, or you find a coach that can just feed you balls and you can work on a specific shot. I feel like a lot of people, when they go drill, they like drill with a person, they do the same drilling every time, and you need to mix it up and actually work on like one specific shot. All right, I'm gonna finish mixing this, and I'll see you over at the griddle. We're gonna turn up the heat. Okay, so I'm turning up the heat. I've got my batter. First pancake never looks the prettiest, but I'm going to just kind of pour in a little bit. And then here, I'm gonna go big scoop. So somebody asked me, how do I stay calm during high pressure moments? And I would say it comes from preparation. Like if you prepare well, you practice all the shots, you feel good when you get into that high pressure moment, you just trust yourself so much and you have so much confidence. I feel like it's the times when I don't prepare for the match as well, that when I get into that moment, I don't trust my shots as much, or I don't feel quite as confident. So I think preparation has a lot to do with how confident one feels like on the court. So I'm gonna wait for these to start bubbling before I flip them. I feel like you hear that a lot when you're making pancakes, but it's the right way to do it. This one looks pretty big, so. And you can kind of tell too, like I said about the flour and the milk, how the first ones like turn out. If you want them a little thicker, you can add some more flour, or thinner, add some more milk. So I really like this question, like how do you stay positive, like when you miss a lot of shots, or how do you not explode when you start missing shots and losing points? And I would say always saying something positive to yourself, like that's a good idea, or you know, way to go for it, or something like that, because whatever you tell your brain or whatever you say out loud starts to become true. So if you're telling yourself positive things, usually good things start to happen and you kind of turn that around. So I think the worst thing you can do is continuously being negative and upset. I know it's very hard to do, but I feel like the more positive you can stay, the better. I would say the biggest mental struggle for me is like figuring out how much doubles do I want to play, how many times do I want to drill, who am I playing with, like do I want to play some singles this week, like just kind of figuring all that out. Usually planning my week is like the most stressful, and then doing everything is kind of just natural to me and easy, and I like doing it. So I think planning my week is pretty stressful. You can see that. That means it's starting to cook well. How do I stay motivated? I would say I'm just so competitive. I'm a very competitive person, and I always want to get better. I'm never content. So I feel like when the weeks come where I don't have a tournament, I just want to train and learn new shots and have fun with it. I also love pickleball, so I like after a couple days, I'm like, all right, let's get back on the court. All right, I think this one's ready to flip. Ooh. Obviously, I think the main thing is just always being ready for them to attack. I disagree kind of with like, oh, you need to make sure you reset their speed up in that sense. I just think like whatever shot's natural you should hit when they speed up the ball at you, and not try to focus too much on the fact that they're just hitting every ball like really hard. So I would say 1, always be ready. 2, let balls go. Like if they're just being reckless, a lot of balls are probably going out that you're hitting. And then 3, like try to calm yourself down and just play your game, and not focus too much on what they're doing. Like be ready to lead balls, be ready to get sped up at, but like just play your game. 1 pancake is done. My 2-handed backhand is one of my best shots because it was one of my best shots in tennis. And I feel like because when I was younger, it was a lot easier for me to hit a 2-handed. Like when you're 10 years old, having 2 hands on the paddle is a lot easier than the forehand. So probably both those reasons, and maybe it's just like something I was born with, that I like my backhand better than my forehand. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I'm in a close match, I kind of want to hit whatever shots I'm most comfortable with. And that kind of sometimes depends on the match, or like if I'm playing mixed doubles or gender doubles, what I'm very comfortable with. But I definitely feel like when you're in those tight moments, you should always hit your strengths and not go for something that you don't normally go for. So for me, that's probably like aggressive dinking, still speeding up, still playing aggressive even if I'm a little nervous or if it's a good match. That's a problem. That looks good. That's a good one. I'm proud of that one. I might be going to Asia this upcoming year. There might be something in the works that I can't mention too much about, but so yeah, I might be going to Asia or somewhere outside the US for pickleball next year. I'm gonna finish up making these pancakes and then I'll see you for the taste test. We're back, everyone. So the top one is a chocolate chip pancake, all the rest of the ones are regular. Because I want to give it a very high duper score, I'm gonna try the chocolate chip pancake. But yeah, sorry to say, I'm not gonna be eating all these myself. So this is kind of the inside. It's so thick, the chocolate chips, you can't even see because they're like underneath. Okay, so it needs syrup. I forgot the syrup, so duper scores are going down a little bit. But without syrup, it's still really good. I would say 6.4. 6.4. It's very good. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for asking me these questions. I also had so much fun answering them. I hope you try out this pancake recipe. Let me know what you think.